This video is about text frame options, and we find those when you have your text selected. Go to Object Text Frame Options. It's Command B on your keyboard is actually the easiest, quickest way to get there. And this will bring up a dialog box. Now go ahead and hit that preview button because you'll want to see what's going on here. And we can do a bunch of things in here. Like for instance, I can take this single text and turn it into columns. So I can say, here, give me 3 columns of text. Now obviously it has to have enough text to fill the columns. So I could actually hit this Balance Columns tab, and you see the way that it handles that. We don't actually need any columns right now for us. But here's a real important thing, and this is this inset spacing. So before we play with that, I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of this and talk about putting coloring text, because that's one thing I didn't cover in the last video. So if you go to your little palette here with this selected, you're going to notice you have 2 buttons here. One is for the container and one is for the text. So our text by default comes out black, and I can use this slider if I wanted to make it grayscale. If I want to change it to other colors, you're going to want to click on the little hamburger menu here and change it into CMYK mode, right? And then you can use any combination of sliders or anything that you want here. Let's actually go ahead and make the text white for right now. And actually, if I was going to make it white, I probably would have left it on the black and just slid it all the way to the back here. But that's fine right here as it is. Now I want to put a background on the container. So again, just like Illustrator, right, it's got a fill and it's got a stroke. Let's just use a fill. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a purplish color. And now this is one of the problems here. This is bad typography when you have the type just really touching the edges. We need some air, we need some space. And so we need to go back into our text frame options, Command B or Object Text Frame Options. And that's when we want to use that inset spacing that I just talked about. So we can go ahead and click on this right here to have it give us air so that our text isn't touching the edges. Now you don't have to do it all right now. It's all linked so that all the settings are the same. I could unclick that and then make the top, more than the other ones if I had some reason to do that. I probably don't have a reason to do that, so I'm going to actually turn it back down into half a pica. Whoops, I actually hit enter. One more thing I want to show you is this vertical justification, right? And by default, a text frame is top, but you can change that and say center text, right? Obviously, you can bottom text. You can justify text. I don't recommend it. So obviously you'd probably only ever use center or top, right? So something like that would probably be more useful. Here you can actually, well, I'll talk about that later. I'm not going to bother with that. The rest of these things are probably pretty complicated, so I'm not going to go into those. So just go in, make sure that you can create text and really make a text box that looks like this, just to make sure you know how to do this in InDesign.